Sitting here with boxing royalty in the cruiserweight division, the WBC silver champion, Thabiso Mchunu. Man, it's been a long road, man. But how are you feeling at this point?
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. I'm feeling good, man. It's been a very long road, and yeah, I'm feeling good. Everything has been going accordingly, and I'm ready to go.
Well, you traveled to Russia. In your last fight, you fought Lebedev and put on a clinic. You won next to every single round. Feeling confident about going back to Russia again?
Yeah, I'm feeling confident. I'm very positive. I've been around the world, I wouldn't say, or can I say, I've seen it all in a boxing. So in Zulu we say umagade bona. So I feel like I'm dead now, and yeah, going to Russia again, for me, I have to be on my A game. I have to be focused, and everything in camp has been going very well, and I'm very positive that I'm gonna come back with a good result.
Well, you considered an elite level boxer, so you up there. I mean, you're pretty much like the people's champ. You're almost like a world champion, but you just haven't got that world title yet. We've spoken about it before. This just takes you one step towards an opportunity. Maybe you'll have to have another one. I'm not sure about that, but another good performance for you.
Yes, another good performance for me, and I'm very close to fighting for the world title again. But right now, my focus is on this fight. I wanna take one thing step at a time, and yeah, probably after this fight, I might fight for the world title. We'll see what happens, but I'm very positive that I'm very close on fighting for a world title.
Looking at the Russian opponent, Tishchenko, he's 8-0. He's entered the WBC rankings, which qualifies him to fight you. However, he's a decorated amateur, so 8-0 is not necessarily a reflection on him. Have you looked at him quite seriously?
Yeah, he's a good boxer. He's an Olympian. I always respect boxers who have been in the Olympics. They bring something different in the game, and yeah, I respect him. But I believe I've got all what it takes to beat him. I can just say he's a good boxer, but I'm better than him.
Well, he doesn't come with the same reputation that Alexander Usyk did. However, he is still to be, treated with respect. I'm assuming that you guys have worked on a good game plan for him.
Yes, we worked on a very good plan, me and my trainer. And we know exactly what we're up against. I must be on my A game. And we're expecting a tough fight, but we believe we got all the tools to come back with a win.
Well, one thing that stands out about him, yes, he's a southpaw, you're a southpaw. It's always a difficult fight, southpaw versus southpaw. But he's a very tall guy as well. What do you think about his height?
It doesn't bother me that much. I've been fighting taller guys throughout my whole career. And I think it works better for me when my opponent is taller than when he's like my height. So the height difference doesn't really matter.
What do you got to do when you get into the ring in Russia? Because obviously a lot of people get scared when they go abroad. I know that lately yourself and both Ilunga Makabu have been successful in Russia. Do you worry about anything external?
Not really, especially in Russia. The crowd there is not as wild or loud. So it's just a matter of being composed, being calm, and being focused. And that's what I'm going to do and do my best to win the fight.
In this particular training camp, have you had a full camp? Are you fully fit? Are you ready for this one?
Yeah, I've had a full camp, and I'm ready. I'm ready for this one. I think this time I'm more, I wouldn't say fitter, but I'm going to Russia with more experience than before.
And you mentioned more experience than before every fight. So, looking at the fight deeply, do you think it'll go points, knockout? Would you make a prediction on this one?
Not really. I don't really make predictions, but I'm expecting a tough fight. If it goes on point, I'm gonna win each and every round from the start, from the get-go. I'm gonna take charge of the fight like how I did on my last fight. So that's my game plan, to be in charge and to take charge from the get-go.
Well, you just beat the experienced Lebedev, a guy that was also he's a decorated pro as well, and a world champion. But do you think that this guy will be as tough as a Lebedev or some of the other Russian guys that are out there?
I wouldn't compare them exactly. He's gonna bring something very different compared to Lebedev. It's gonna be very different compared to Lebedev, but I believe with my experience and I'll be able to manage the fight. I'll be able to control the fight and win the fight.
It's tough to speak on your opponent's mindset, but he's fresh, he's undefeated, had a good amateur background, as we said. Do you think he might be confident coming up against you?
I'm sure he's very confident since he's been around the world in amateur. He's been in the Olympics, so I know those kind of guys. He's like the next big thing in Russia as a prospect. So they're expecting a lot from him too. So he's also going to be kind of under pressure. So maybe that also might works against him. So yeah, but I'm expecting him to be very, very confident. But yeah, I'm very confident that I'm going to win the fight.
You're very confident that you're going to win the fight. You also mentioned that you didn't want to make a prediction whether you're going to point a knockout. You're just going to go in there and do it. But do you anticipate the fight being close at all?
Not really. He might try, but then when I take charge of the fight, just like I did in Liberdev, I'm gonna dominate each and every round, and I'm just gonna make it clear that I'm gonna be far ahead on points. Yeah.
But also, the last time you would have come up against the top southpaw, I believe it was Tommy Oosthuizen in that second fight where you really did exceptionally well. Do you reference that because he's also a tall southpaw?
Yeah. It's also similar to Tommy. Tall, but he's kind of like a steady boxer. He's smart, but he's steady. He's not quick. He doesn't move a lot. Just that he's a good boxer and he's trying to use his reach. But I don't see him being like. I wouldn't say he's like Usyk and those kind of guys. So for me, that's why I'm saying I'm better than him. I believe that I'm better than him, and I'm gonna prove that on the fight night.
One thing I've always noticed with your boxing is your intelligence. You come into the ring, you don't just premeditate things, you see things as they are and you adjust. Coming into a big fight like that, do you see yourself being different from some of the other guys at the top?
Yeah, I believe I'm very different compared to all the other cruiserweights because I read the fight while we're fighting. I think a lot. I read the game, and once I get to see my opponent, what kind of boxer he is, then I take charge. Then after that, it's just one way.
So we're sitting here at the time of the interview, about 2 weeks away from the fight. Do you feel that your body right now, I mean, could you step in the ring tomorrow?
Yeah, I can. Right now, I'm ready to go, man. I've been training a lot from January. So the thing about Russia, they tell you in advance. They're not like the other, sometimes when you fight in America, they tell you in 4 weeks notice, 5 weeks. In Russia, they give you 8 or 10 weeks. So that's the thing about me. When you give me that much time with no injuries, everything going well, I believe there's no other cruiserweight who can beat me. Even Usyk can come back, can do it again. Because Usyk they told me 5 weeks and I had an injury. So yeah, I believe that if we fight again, it will be a different story.
And Usyk has now obviously elevated his career. He's stepped up to the heavyweight division. I mean, I don't anticipate that you'd ever do that. I mean, I'm just pretty sure you're going to stay at cruiserweight for the rest of your career.
Yeah, I'm very short, so there's no way I can go to a heavyweight. Maybe in South Africa, but still, I'm too short, and I don't think that I can fight heavyweight.
Well, the way I see it, right? I mean, you can tell me yourself. I mean, I don't see you fighting in South Africa anytime soon. I think all your fights are pretty much international. I think if you step back into South Africa, the only fight maybe is the Lungu Makabu fight, maybe here. I don't know if that'll be abroad or somewhere else. When you get to that stage, obviously that's another bridge we have to cross. But have you thought about those sort of things, or is that not on your mind?
You mean fighting here in South Africa?
Yeah.
Yeah, as you're saying, I don't think I'll fight here in South Africa anytime soon because after this fight, in a contract it says that they kinda like gonna promote me after this fight when I win this fight. So we'll see what comes up next, but probably we're going for the world title.
So are you excited? I mean, obviously COVID-19, no one is really excited during the pandemic, but are you excited for a little bit, at least for this year?
Yeah, at least because I think a lot of people, a lot of boxers, especially me, we lost out in the other year, which is 2020. I feel like I can't count it, yeah, I'll say. Yeah, so we lost out a lot, but right now I'm feeling very excited and I'm ready to go.
Well, when you go abroad, you don't just. I mean, you represent yourself every time you go in there. You represent your boxing gym, but you represent your country. And you're also a good amateur yourself, so I don't want to take that away from you because I know he's a good amateur, but you were a good amateur too.
Yeah.
Representing South Africa on the road, is that important to you?
Yeah, it is very important to me representing South Africa, and we've had one of the good boxers in South Africa who have won big titles. So I need to keep it that way. That South African has had some good boxers, and we still have good boxers.
All right, and I don't know if your opponent can speak English, but would you have a message for him before you step in the ring?
Not true. I'm just gonna show him something new about boxing. I'm sure he has fought a lot in amateurs. You fight around the world, but as a professional, I don't think he has fought someone like me. It's not like we're fighting 4 rounds, or we're fighting full 12 round, 3 minutes. So I'm just gonna show him another side of boxing.
And then lastly from yourself, do you have a thank you or a shout out to anybody?
I'd like to thank my camp, my trainer manager Sean, my sponsors, World Sport Boxing, Seasonani, and everyone who's been supporting me, my family, my wife, my dad, everyone, my friends, my sparring partners, Chris, Kevin, Tools. They've been helping me a lot, and I'd like to thank everyone who's been supporting me.